A few years ago, I was staring retirement in the face, and I got to thinking, I have this enormous library, 6,000 volumes. What am I going to do with this library? And then the question morphed into, what am I going to do with myself? Because, as everyone knows, I'm not a retiring kind of guy. So that the question became then, how do I repurpose my religious vocation since I'm retiring as Bishop of the Chesapeake? So my decision was that the library and I are inseparable, that we go together. And so really what I'm doing, I'm going back to what I was doing before we came to Maryland. I was an academic back in Columbus. And so now I'm back to being an academic again. And the idea for this to be an interfaith kind of mission really grew in me over the past couple of years. As you may know, the rabbi of Easton, Peter Hyman, and I have done a great deal of teaching together. We've taught 15 seminars together over the past 6 years. We've just had a rollicking good time doing it. And so that a lot of my ministry has become even more interfaith focused, and certainly during my biennium as chairman of Talbot Association of Clergy and Laity, of course, which includes not only Christians, but Jews and Muslims, and even people who have no religious faith because they agree with the principles that we have pursued in creating a stronger interfaith community. So at any rate, all of these principles were growing in me at the same time, and that's when it clicked. An interfaith library. What the Oaks of Mamre Interfaith Library and Graduate Center will be is America's premier seminar and flash course institution. A graduate center, but not a residential center. No, it's going to be a place to which people come. Say if we come upon a really interesting topic and we have a world-famous instructor who knows more about this topic than anybody else in the whole world, well, that we would bring in that person for say 2 days for a real intensive flash course going all day long, taking breaks for lunch and for dinner, of course, and then for some entertainment and for some reading time during the evening, continuing on the next day. We're going into the year of the strategic plan. This really hasn't been done before, so that we have to figure out how to do this and how to do it right. During the year of the strategic plan, we're going to be examining many avenues. I'm going to be traveling a lot. I'm going to be talking with deans of seminaries, Christian and Jewish seminaries. I'm going to be talking with Muslim educators to find out what their needs are for their students, and also how we might contribute in helping certain colleges with graduate education by having scholars come to do fellowships with us. We're going to be looking at all these many avenues. We have really good people as fund advisors. They are local and they are in DC. Among our academic partners, we have Joseph Prudhomme from Washington College, from George Washington University. We have Rob Eisen, who heads the religion department there. One of his colleagues, the great academic imam, Mohammed Fagfuri. And then we have the Smithsonian Freer Sackler Gallery. We have UPenn Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology. These are our academic partners. You'll notice that none of these happen to be from religious institutions, because we don't want to have any one particular religion taking ownership of this right from the get-go. This has to be truly an interfaith operation. The Oaks of Mamre receives its name from the 15th chapter of the book of Genesis, in which we read that Abraham pitched his tent by these Oaks of Mamre. It's located near Hebron, or Hebron, in ancient Israel. And according to the text there in Genesis 15, in the heat of the day, quote unquote, in the heat of the day, the one God, along with 2 other individuals, came to visit Abraham at his tent, where the one God washed his own feet, sat down and had a non-kosher dinner with Abraham and Sarah. So at any rate, in the heat of our day, that becomes a very important imperative to us, that we have to have a tent to which the one God can come and inspire all of us. Listen, the other day, somebody said to me, "Is your goal really world peace?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And he says, "Well, that really sounds like a Miss America contestant saying that all she really wants is world peace." Well, this really is our goal, because the only way that it's ever going to happen is when academics of the 3 great Abrahamic faiths and of Buddhism and of Taoism and Hinduism get together and start talking about what we have in common, because what we have in common we will be able to share with our own religious constituencies, it's got to start somewhere. And God knows it's not going to start on the battlefield. It is. This would be very important for a graduate student, say, coming from a Christian seminary, in which that student might enjoy courses which teach about Judaism or might teach about Islam, but really not having firsthand contact with a person who is a Jew or an academic who is a Muslim, so that it gives them the opportunity to hear other stories from, so to speak, the horse's mouth. So, well, yeah, this really is going to impact Easton. Just as Easton and Talbot County are tourism destinations, Easton is going to become an academic destination. Just look at our wonderful resources that we have right here in downtown Easton, America's 6th wealthiest small town. Five-star restaurants. We have a great, beautiful historic inn. We have art galleries. So that what more wonderful setting could you have for a graduate center than downtown Easton? This also means that it's going to bring more business and more interest to downtown Easton. It's going to be healthy for the whole community.